Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we'll be breaking the Week 15 NFL Thursday night football game between the Rams and 49ers. If you're new here, welcome. We have been doing pretty well with our bets. Last week, we finished with total wins of 10 and 12.30 units and total losses of 12 and 12 units, putting us up 0.30 units for the week. This puts our total record at 39.35 units. And 30, we are up a cool 9.35 units. Let's try to get back on track. He really crushed it in the Vikings-Falcons game, as our prediction of Sam Darnold being able to cook against the Falcons was spot on. His 3+ touchdowns at plus 320 was our longest bet of the weekend, and it hit. Dolphins came back from the grave to help us as well as us being right on the Rams and 49ers. The Saints continue to let us down, and I really got to start considering just staying away from them. Their games are not entering, and they are just not any good, and Monday night we didn't do too hot either. But with that being said, let's get into the Thursday night game. The Los Angeles Rams and San Francisco 49ers are set to face off in an important NFC West game on Thursday Night Football. The Rams, which defeated the 49ers by a score of 27-24 in Week 3, will aim to secure a season sweep against the 49ers for the first time since 2018. The Rams, with a record of 7 wins and 6 losses, currently sit in second place in the NFC West and are coming off a thrilling 44-42 victory over the Buffalo Bills last Sunday. Meanwhile, the 49ers, holding a 6-7 record and tied for third in the division alongside the Arizona Cardinals, dominated the Chicago Bears last week with a commanding 38-13 win. The game will kick off at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara, California, at 8:15 in the evening Eastern Time. In the most recent betting odds, the 49ers are favored by 2.5 points, with the total points over-under set at 49. San Francisco is listed as a -142 favored on the money line, while the Rams are +120 underdogs. So as for my bets, we first need to take a look at George Kittle. George Kittle has racked up 512 yards over his last 6 games, catching 28 of 32 passes thrown his way. This impressive stretch includes a standout performance in Week 14, where he hauled in all 6 of his targets for 151 yards. Kittle has recorded at least 6 receptions in 4 of those 6 games and has caught 5 or more passes in 7 of his 10 appearances this season. He'll be facing a Los Angeles defense that ranks 13th in receptions allowed to tight ends. The Rams rely heavily on zone coverage, a scheme Kittle excels at exploiting. According to Pro Football Focus, he's the top tight end in the NFL against zone defenses, with nearly 61% of his 6 coming against these setups. Player projections for Thursday Night Football anticipate another big performance from Kittle, with many expecting him to grab at least 5 receptions and tally more than 65 receiving yards. As for my bet, I'll take him over his yards prop set at 56.5 yards at -115. Next, I look at the backfield of the 49ers. Isaac Guerendo was having a great game last week until, like the other 2 running backs for the 49ers, got hurt. He had 15 carries for 8 yards and 2 touchdowns while also adding 2 catches for 50 more yards. One thing is clear, no matter who is playing in the backfield for the 49ers, they use them in both the passing and rushing games. Isaac Guerendo sprained his foot Sunday and is questionable to play in this game. If he doesn't go, Patrick Taylor will get the start, and I'm sure we will see a lot of Deebo Samuel in the backfield as well, especially after his comments, but his prop lines are way too high. For our example, Deebo's rush plus receiving yards at over 75 is just +100. Deebo has not hit this once in the last 4 games, so this is how I am playing this. I like Patrick Taylor to go over his rushing receiving line. He is going to get the chance to go, and the 49ers run through the backfield. A lot of their success comes from what their running backs do as backs and pass catchers. Now, this should be an available line, and I'm going to be playing it as long as it is under 85 yards. If this line is not available, if Isaac Guerendo does not play, I am taking an anytime to touchdown at -120 for Patrick Taylor. Coach Shannon went on talking about Taylor and said we looked for guys that have the ability to make your team, Shanahan said. In order to have the ability to make your team, you have the running skills that we like to where we feel if your opportunity ever comes, you're going to be a tough runner that hits the right holes and fights for yards. And also, if you can't make one of those top 2 positions, how well you can help on special teams. He had done both of those things in his career in Green Bay, and he's been doing them for us since he got here. If Isaac can't go, it will be his opportunity. As you guys saw him run yesterday, or as we did earlier in the year in Seattle, he's a solid, good back. So I take that as if Isaac can't go, Taylor will get the start and will get plenty of opportunities. If Isaac Guerendo suits up, I won't be betting his anytime touchdown prop. Instead, I will be betting Deebo Samuel to score a touchdown, as I can see a split backfield. Now, on the other side for the Rams, Puka Nacua has solidified himself as the #1 receiver on the Rams again, coming off an insane performance of 12 catches on 14 targets, 162 yards, and 1 touchdown, while Cooper Kupp had a very good game as well with 5 catches on 8 targets for 92 yards and a touchdown. I'm going to take Puka Nacua over catches, however. Puka Nacua has been outstanding this season, but he faces a tough challenge against the 49ers, who boast the 3rd-ranked passing defense in the league. Their secondary has only improved since the return of top cornerback Charvarius Ward 2 weeks ago. While Nacua will certainly see his share of targets, expecting him to reach 90-plus yards is a little too big of a risk I'm looking to lay. With Matthew Stafford having a variety of options like Cooper Kupp, who I think will have a good game, Tutu Atwell, and Demarcus Robinson, it's likely he'll distribute the ball across multiple receivers. I see a few screens for Puka, which is why I like over 7.5 receptions at plus 110. Another way I am looking at this game is with the running backs on the Rams. Kyren Williams is a beast and is a workhorse. He had a nice bet for us last week, but recently we have been seeing a lot more options for the backup running back, Blake Corum. And again, this is due to the fact that the Rams do not want to ride him too much. With this game being played on short rest, and Cryan having 31 total touches and 29 handoffs, I can see Blake Corum getting a lot of opportunities. Blake has had 8 rushes in both his last 2 games, and is coming off his 2nd-best game of the year with 34 rushing yards, crushing his over a 15.5 but a ton. The game before that he had 8 rushes for 42 yards. With all that being said, I like Blake Corum over 25 rushing yards. Now this line is not yet available, but I will be playing this all the way down to 100, meaning as long as it is a plus money bait, I'll be playing it. I predict his line to be around 17 yards and over 25 yards to be around plus 160 or so. I will post the odds and line I get in the comments. This is my favorite play of the night. Can even see him going for 40 plus yards. And that is it for the Rams 49ers game for me. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video for more betting and sports news. See you in the next one.